dear students, and welcome back to my class. This is Shivani Tripathi from St. Thomas' School. Students, this video is for class 8th. Today we are going to start a new poem of literature. The poem is The Try Anti Vanti Gong Glow. Okay, I know what you are thinking, that this title is quite weird. Okay, we will come to that later on. This poem is written by C.J. Dennis. C.J. Dennis is an Australian poet. He is not very famous poet, but he still have some other few famous works. Students, in this poem, C.J. Dennis talks about an imaginary creature. He describes an imaginary insect that is actually nowhere existing. Okay, and the name of that insect is Try Anti Vanti Gong Glow Low. Okay, so the first homework for today is that you have to learn the spelling of this insect, and you also have to learn how to pronounce it. Okay, Try Anti Vanti Gong Glow.
So let's have a brief introduction about our poet C.J. Dennis. C.J. Dennis was an Australian poet, as I have told you earlier. He was well known for his humorous poems, especially The Songs of a Sentimental Bloke, which was published in early 20th century. Though Dennis's work is less well known today, his 1915 publication of The Sentimental Bloke sold 65,000 copies in its first year, and by 1917 he was the most prosperous poet in the Australian history. So this was the introduction of C.J. Dennis. Now we will read out the poem The Try Anti Vanti Gong Glow. I hope you all can pronounce it well now. As you can see, I have attached a picture, so your insect somehow looks similar to this image. Okay, there is a funny insect that you do not often spy. What is the meaning of spy? Spy means to inquire somebody secretly, and it isn't quite a spider and it isn't quite a fly. So in this first stanza, the poet is talking about the physical appearance of that insect. Okay, he says that insect doesn't look like a spider, and this quite quite doesn't means silence. This quite means little bit. Okay, so he says that insect doesn't look like a spider, and it also doesn't look like a fly. It is something like a beetle and little like a bee. And he says, he describes the insect, and he says that his insect somehow looks like a beetle. What does beetle look like? And a little like a bee. Okay, so that insect is quite similar to beetle and bee. And for that, what you have to do, you will search the image of beetle, bee, spider and fly in the Google, and then you will get the idea what does that insect look like. But nothing like a woolly grub that climbs upon a tree. And he describes further, and he says that insect doesn't like a woolly grub. Woolly means woolen like. Okay, something like woolen, wool. Grub that climbs upon a tree, and that insect doesn't climb upon a tree. Its name is quite a hard one, but you will learn it soon, I hope. He says further that the name of that insect is quite a hard one to read out, but you will learn it very soon. He is confident that all the readers will learn soon how to pronounce the name of insect. So try. Let's try. Try, try, anti wanty. Try, anti wanty, gongo lope. Okay, so my students are smarter and I am very confident that all of you can pronounce it well. So let's pronounce it again. Try, anti, wanty, gongo, lope. Come to the next stanza. It lives on the weed and wattle gum and has a funny face. And he says further that it lives on the weed. What is weed? Weed is actually a plant. Weed is the street name for a plant called marijuana. Okay, so and wattle gum means wet grass. Wet grass. Okay, so it lives. Where does it live? It doesn't climb upon a tree. It lives on the weeds and wet grass and has a funny face. Okay, so he describes his insect more and he says that my insect has a very funny face. Its appetite is hearty. Appetite means craving for something to eat. Okay, so he says that insect is always hungry. He eats a lot. And its manner a disgrace. Disgrace means shame. Okay, now this line is very funny. The poet says that insect doesn't have any manner. Can I ask you, have you seen any animals or insects around you having good manners or bad manners? Do animals and insects have manner? So think about it. Why this poet has written such a weird line that its manner a disgrace, that he is saying that insect doesn't have any good manners. But which animal, which insect have manner? No. When first you come upon it, it will give you a quite scare. Okay, so he says when you will firstly see it, it will give you quite a scare. Scare means frighten. Okay, you will be frightened when you will look at it for the first time. But when you look for it again, you find it isn't there. But when you will see it again, you will realize that it's nothing to feel fearful. And unless you call it softly, it will stay away and mope. Mope means feel unhappy about something. Okay, so he says, he describes his insect more and he tells you that, you know, when you call that insect softly, it will come to you very happily. But when you won't call it softly, it would be very unhappy. That insect won't come to you. So let's try. Try, try, anti wanty. Try, anti wanty, gongo lope. Come to the third one. It trembles if you tickle it or tread upon its toes. Tremble means shiver, shaken. Okay, it trembles if you tickle it. Tickle, in my last video I have told you what does tickle mean. Tickle means sensation. Okay, sudden sensation in any of your body part is known as tickle. And trembles is shiver. So when you tickle it, it trembles. Or tread means to walk upon. And when you walk upon his toes, when you walk upon its toes, it trembles. Okay, it shivers. And it happens in natural situation also. Whenever you are walking on a street, on anywhere in the garden, and suddenly you put your feet on some insect, what does happen to them? They shiver, they just shake. Okay, it is not an early riser, but it has a snobbish nose. It's actually a snobbish. Okay, it's O, snobbish nose. It's not an early riser means he doesn't have. Actually, the poet has said it earlier also that it doesn't have any good manners. So that insect wasn't a early riser, but it has a very arrogant nose. Snobbish means arrogant nose. If you sneer at it, what does a sneer means? Sneer means, when you look at it very with a scornful smile and make fun of. If you sneer at it means if you make fun of it or scold it, it will scuttle off in shame. Means if you will make fun of him and if you will scold it, what will happen to him? It will move hurriedly in shame. Scuttle off means move in a very hurried manner. Move hurriedly. Okay. It will run. But it purrs and purrs quite proudly if you call it by its name. Purrs means, a low vibratory sound like cat makes. When cat is happy, it makes a vibratory sound. So that sound is purrs. Okay? But it purrs and purrs quite proudly if you call it by its name. Basically, it means if you will call it by its name, okay, it will become happy. And offer it some sandwiches of sealing wax and soap. If you will offer it a sandwich made up of wax and soap, it will become happy. So try, anti wanty. Try, anti wanty, gongo loop. See the last one. But of course you haven't seen it, and I truthfully confess. Now he has come to the main point. He says that of course I know you haven't seen any insect like it, and I truthfully confess. Confess means admit the truth. He says that obviously I know that you haven't seen it, and I would like to confess it. I would like to say the truth that I also haven't seen it. That I haven't seen it either, and I don't know its address. He says that he too doesn't know anything about this insect. He has never seen such insect, and he doesn't know the address of this insect. For there isn't such an insect, though there really might have been. And he confesses to the readers that there is not such kind of insect. This kind of insect doesn't exist, though there really might have been if the trees and grass were purple and the sky was bottle green. And he says that this might have been possible, but only if the trees and grass were of purple color and the sky was of bottle green color. Means if it was possible that trees and grass were purple and sky was green color, then this might be possible that this insect exists. So it's just a little joke of mine which you will forgive, I hope. And he says in the end that I was just joking with you all. I was joking with my readers, and I hope you will forgive me to waste your time. Oh, try anti-wanty. Try anti-wanty gongo loop. So this was it about the poem. I know this was a short poem. It was a quite funny poem also, but it was a nice poem.
Okay students, so I hope you understood the poem well. What you have to do is, you have to write your poem in the note copy. You have to write the word meanings in your note copy, and I also have a few home assignments for you. Your first homework is learn the spelling of tri-anti-wanty gong globe, okay, and also the pronunciation. Second homework, describe how the insect looks like, okay, in your own words. Third, find the meaning of the following words and make 2 sentences from each word. The words are spy, S-P-Y. Second word, quite, Q-U-I-T-E. Third word is climb, C-L-I-M-B. Fourth word, appetite, A-P-P-E-T-I-T-E. Fifth word, disgrace. D-I-S-G-R-A-C-E. Okay students, so we will meet in the next video. Till then, stay safe, take care.